Welcome back to The Breakdown. We're delighted to bring you our new partner, TalkSport Bet, as we keep growing The Breakdown. Obviously, you know about TalkSport, but you might not know about TalkSport Bet. They're one of the biggest bookies in the UK, with Alan McCoy as ambassador. We're delighted to say they're sponsoring us this season, and they've got a brilliant offer for The Breakdown viewers and listeners. Bet £10 and get £40 in free football bets. That's brilliant. That's right, £40 in free bets. Just head to talksportbet.com/breakdown to get involved. And not just that, they've got massive super boosts, daily price boost and best odds guaranteed on their horses too. So don't miss out. Go to talksportbet.com/thebreakdown and claim the offer now. 18 plus, T&Cs apply. Today we're joined by Darren O'Dea. How are you, mate?
Very well, thank you.
Good to have you, man. How's your weekends?
I feel a bit snug in the middle of you two big storm.
Tight in here, innit?
I put my blue on as well, just so we're not a Celtic.
Is it tighter than you thought it would be in here?
Very.
In the broom
Snug,
cupboard?
innit? It's nice.
Aye, well,
Look around all your jerseys.
we're tight, I know.
You would have played. Did you play in some of them? Obviously not in Scotland.
No, we didn't.
Did you play in that?
We didn't play together for Celtic, no.
No at all.
No, only in
not
the
one.
youth teams.
Not one game.
So we... No, I don't think so. So when I come back, you had just left, had you?
I think I was in pre-season, but I didn't play.
That's right. Oh, actually you did, because we went away together.
That's right.
But Daz came through, we came through at the same time.
Yeah.
Daz was a year younger than me.
Right.
And we came through. Obviously two similar positions, although I was left back, you were left-sided defenders, but Daz jumped above me to go into Martin O'Neill's sort of first team and the first team. And aye. Interesting. We had a good change room, didn't we? The youth team and that.
Good times.
Who's on that?
McGeady, Darren, Scott Cuthbert, Mikey McGlinchey, Dino Richardson, Ryan Conroy, Rocco Quinn,
Simon Ferry.
I don't know why I'm
Still
saying
remember Rocco.
we had a good Jim O'Brien. We had a good change room with a good
Still
laugh.
remember Rocco Quinn for 19s, 21s at Scotland.
He was some player, aye.
Good player, aye.
He was like a man at 15.
Where did he end up?
St Mirren. He played good football. Ross County.
Ross County, aye. Some man.
You always remember your youth team, don't you?
He liked a wee white lie. He actually he texted me last week because I'd been on open goal.
That's why I mentioned him, because I knew you'd have a story about him.
Aye, so I went on open goal and mentioned a couple of stories. He liked a wee white lie, and he says he was a size 12 when he was about 14-year-old, but he used to feel the toes in his boots. They were an 8.
Size fits all.
They were an 8, right? So I've said that story in open goal. He's like, out of order. Big Pedro got the ones off the bargain bucket at the top of Hang Me, at the top of Sports Direct. And I says, mate, I was the exaggerating. I think you were actually a 13. But aye, he was some man, Rocco, man.
But midfielder, wasn't he?
Midfielder, man amongst boys at 15-year-old. Good player.
I remember him being really physical and powerful.
We had some changing room, man, back in the day.
Anyway,
Anyway, mate, how's things? What you up to?
Just watching a lot of football. Football. Was at the game yesterday.
Oh, who were you?
BBC.
Was the game on BBC?
No, it was just sport, kind of sports scene afterwards. No, just kind of analysing it afterwards. It was a bit strange. I have to admit, I didn't realise until I arrived what I was actually doing.
Right.
Because I was at the game live from Hampden, but doing a package for after the game.
Okay, aye.
But listen, it was good. Got into the game, got to watch it.
Dougie Donnelly there?
Dougie Donnelly was doing
Mate, I seen Dougie Donnelly, right? I don't know if I mentioned Dougie Donnelly on here before. It's pure flashback for the past, isn't it? Scott Sport back in the day.
we done a show with him just. Well,
that's right, yeah.
He's back on the scene, isn't he?
Aye.
There was somebody in my year, there was a spitting image of Dougie Donnelly. Swear to God. And
In
it was
your
year? In my year at school.
What, the spit of him now or back then?
No, back then. Back then, she used to get called Dougie Donnelly. I promise you. And if I was allowed, I would flash a picture of the new. It was unbelievable. If I had to show you a picture, you'd be greeting me laughter. They know who they are. Spitting image of Dougie Donnelly. He called Dougie Donnelly at school. Saw him yesterday, almost starstruck. I was like, I got a picture of him. He's a face back in the day of Scotsport, wasn't he?
Yeah, you could tell. He's walking around the stadium. He's got a lot of respect.
Aye, brilliant guy, man.
Yeah.
Big result for Celtic.
It was, mate. Well, I want to tell a story of the weekend before we go into the games, right?
Tell us about the Winnebago.
No.
Tell us.
No, I want to tell a story about my son,
Tell us
right?
about you getting battered.
You know my son Josh, right? Phones me on Saturday night. He comes back for the gala game. He went to the gala game. It was their Player of the Year awards after. He went to that, then he drove home. Comes in Saturday night. in for 10 minutes, then leaves to go to his girlfriend's, right, drives over to Eaglesham to his new buds.
Is he going to be happy with you telling this?
Well, I don't know.
We're going for it anyway. We'll find it out.
We'll find out, right?
Tough.
So, phones me. He's left here about 20 minutes. Phones me. Answer, hello. He's like, Dad, I've just hit. I hit something. I've hit something. My bumper's fucking fucked. I was like, oh no, Josh. So like you can hear the shock in his voice. He just started driving about a few months. So I was like, Josh, no way. He's like, and he's sitting quiet on the phone. You know he's in shock. He's like, I've just hit something. I said, all right, just relax, take a deep breath. I says, FaceTime me so I can see the damage to see if you can keep driving. So he goes out and the bumper's off. Right. Oh my God.
Is he all right?
So he goes back in the motor. He's all right, aye. So he goes back in the motor. He's just in a bit of shock. And he says, I says, oh, listen, you've hit a deer. You've probably hit a deer. And he goes, I don't think it was a deer. So my heart sank. I thought, please say he's not ran somebody out, right? My first thought. And I went, what was it then? And he went, it looked like a pig. And I went, pissed myself laughing. I went, mate, you've no hit a pig. It would have been a fucking baby deer. But see the relief it came out of me. He fucking thought he'd hit a pig in the fucking
I thought you were going to say he hit Dougie Donnelly or something.
Dougie Donnelly's hair's all stuck,
all
stuck in the bumper. But I saw his bumper when I came back last night for the game. And I couldn't believe the amount of fucking, the deer's fucking hair on it. He had a so
obviously doing the borders.
No, he was having to Eaglesham,
Eaglesham, sorry. I thought you meant he was coming back for the game.
Sad, man. And then he drove to his missus, and it was dark, obviously, on the way back the next day, phoned me again in the morning. He's like, I've just saw it, side of the road.
Oh.
It's a shame.
Poor wee Bambi.
I know, mate. I know. The good thing is he's not
right,
such to suffer, maybe he's just went
straight away. Is it the
away.
back road in Eaglesham he was on? Back road kind of...
No, I think he was on the last bit of the road before he pulls up, before he comes off. Is that your way?
Yeah.
I scalped a deer. But mate, he was in absolute shock. Like,
cost a few quid that too.
I know.
Make a mess of
I know. That's what he was kept saying. Is that my motor wrap? Is that my motor wrap? And I was like, I don't think so. I think you just need a new bumper. But that's what happened, mate. Aye, mental. I want to get that story out as well. Busy weekend for me. I know I'm rattling stories off here, but there was another one, right? So we get a skip. We get a skip put out, right? We could maybe cut this, Paul. We'll see how we go. We get a skip put at the front, and 2 nights in a row we're eating dinner and somebody's in the skip getting stuff out.
Or stealing for it.
So the second night I ran out and he's away up the street and I chased up the street. I says, mate, how you doing? I says, we've got more stuff to go in this skip. I says, but do you want to come in the house and I'll just give you it now? So I brought him in the house. A wee guy, he was from America. He was out visiting his missus. He comes out every so often. Stays round the corner. And so I brought him in and Josh comes out and I'm like, how you doing, mate? Nice wee guy. Felt a bit sorry for him. So I started getting into the shoe cupboard and just giving him shoes, right? It turned into JDs. Like he's like, that one doesn't fit. He's making noises, but he's like, nah, I know that. And then on another pair, put another pair on. Before you know it, there was like 6 pair of trainers sitting. And then Josh started getting carried away, just giving him jackets, right? So he's left with jackets and in plastic bags and shoes and everything. And we went back to dinner and Alana's like a bit upset. I was really sorry for him. I was like, no, he's not homeless, right? He's here visiting his buddy. He likes to get bargains and we've gave him loads of stuff. He's buzzing.
She invited him in for dinner?
She was like, oh, brilliant. That wasn't enough. So he's went away, mate, right? All good. And then last night we've seen him come back and he's put a wee note on the gate just saying thanks and absolutely buzzing the guy.
Man of the people, you aren't you?
Mate, see how good that feeling was when I got that note off him. It was so good, but I was like, JD's giving him shoes and all that. Wee guy was buzzing. It only happened to me.
He's only doing it to save money on the skip, innit?
Mate,
did he tell you a charge for 40 quid?
The stories you come out with are incredible.
Yeah, why does it happen? I mean, you'd think that was made up, wouldn't you? Like that? How does it happen?
No, in your life, I wouldn't think that was made up. No.
Mental.
Like, what about your team?
So let's get to fit by. Sorry,
that's why we're here.
I know, mate. What did you make of the game? What did you think, Daz?
Well, Daz was there.
Frustrating. It's frustrating watching Celtic. It's frustrating because they seem to start games well. It's the same trend, and then they get lost in the game. They don't play what's needed. It was so obvious in the game what was needed. It was very, very obvious what St Mirren were trying to do to stop them. And Celtic just don't.
What did you think was needed?
It was so obvious, the space for them. Sorry, in particular, the ball kept going back to the keeper at the start, which was driving me insane. Centre-backs, it's different when you have to utilise the keeper, but they're utilising them literally to pass on responsibility.
Yeah.
The full-backs, just the way St Mirren set up, you've got it set up on the board. They were just locked on in midfield. The space was the full-backs. Now, that's where St Mirren wanted Celtic to go, but that was where the space was.
Yeah.
What Trusty was doing was just passing it back to Sinisalo, and eventually it kind of bottlenecked up. Yeah. And he nearly got caught a couple of times he's had to just clear his lines. But what's frustrating for me is it's so obvious. When you play against a three, you don't need your manager to tell you, these players are experienced. You play against a three, invariably the space is on the sides of the pitch.
Yeah.
Now, the space on the side is usually where they want to trap you, but ultimately, if you want to play, that's where the space is.
It's a long way for St Mirren wing-backs
to jump.
Press.
Yeah.
Especially if Celtic full-backs are narrow and deeper, because it makes the distance longer to get to, the pass is shorter.
Yeah.
No, I totally agree with you.
And then the other thing of them is in midfield, I feel sorry for Callum McGregor. He's taking a little bit of stick because he's the captain, because he's the main player. So that's normal. But he's getting criticised for not progressing the ball quickly. There's no one above the ball. The 2 8s for Celtic drive me insane. Negrin, it doesn't matter who it's been. It's Negrin, it's Luke McCown. They're all really good players. Oxlade-Chamberlain, obviously yesterday was Engels. They just come to the ball. They never hold position. And Callum McGregor is the master at just finding little bits of space and playing through lines where every time he picks up his head, invariably the 2 8s are either side of him, coming to the ball.
Is that a personnel thing, mate, or is that a coaching thing?
So that's a good question. I was thinking about that. I think a bit of both, because I think Engels and Negrin aren't those kind of pocket players. But at the same point, there's a responsibility to the game and to the team. If you're trying to build through the pitch, you have to hold position. And I'm watching Celtic's team just come to the ball. I'm watching Dice Almeida coming down to the ball 25, 30 yards from...
Yeah, because Sinisalo was trying to play it through him, because that was the ball that he could only see, but it was suiting... That's the long straight ball was suiting Gogic to get up against Maeda.
That's surely not what Celtic want, though, is it? I know you can pick holes, hindsight, obviously off the what we get to do off the back of performance, but surely they players are not getting told to come to the ball. I actually think that's a bit like Rangers at times. When Rangers are at their worst, Asgard, all these players want to come to the ball, and obviously teams are well set up nowadays, and that kind of low block, suffocate midfield, nick it off you, counter attack quickly. Whereas the good Celtic and Rangers teams of the past would play through that pressure.
Yeah.
And they would have players that would be willing to stretch the back line, run in behind, run without the ball. There's a lot of players nowadays, they all want to come towards the ball, don't they?
Yes, but running with the ball or running without the ball is sacrificial. So that really comes down to there's a bit of both. It's the personnel, but it's also the collective of, if you're coming to the ball, I need to run, where it feels like it's very much they're all individually just playing, and they're all good players.
Of course,
but yesterday, St Mirren, to go, think about it, and then this is no disrespect, because I've watched a lot of Scottish football this year, and I love some of the teams in the league, and St Mirren have done great, and recently, to go to Hampden in a semi-final, go man-to-man against Celtic, that's, as a Celtic player, I think that's brilliant. Yet Celtic got found out from it.
Struggle with that, don't
they? Struggled with it, yeah.
There's a lot of credit to Craig McLeish for that.
It's totally polar opposite for what Stephen Robinson would do.
100%, especially the way the game started with the young keeper, with Mullen making the mistake. You think they would maybe then think...
It's embarrassing the stick he's had online, isn't it?
I've not seen any. Is it bad?
Yeah, it's not good.
I feel for him, man. When that ball goes back to him, the thing about it is he's obviously nervous in a semi. He's not played a lot of games. He could probably pop a pass off.
He's technically actually really good.
But he's probably thinking, first couple I'll play it long, and the last guy you want pressing is Maeda. But I thought the bravery they showed to press right up against Celtics. Because the spare man, they went man for man, left the spare man in Sinisalo, and then from the side started to press him man drawn, and then from then on you need to find the spare man by bouncing it through a midfielder to then step through. But I don't know if the midfielder wasn't shown. I know Sinisalo gets a lot of stick, but he would have been asked probably, we play for the back. Celtic, why does Celtic play for the back? Because they don't really have the players in the forward line to play direct balls forward, right? So they play for the back. So he's getting asked to play for the back. He's getting a lot of stick, but he's trying to find the spare man somehow when he's getting pressed. It's difficult. Do you agree with that, or do you think he should just just banged it long?
No. I thought it was really easy, not really easy to play out, but it kept going from Trusty. Now, no, Trusty's right-footed, so it's a little bit different, but it keeps going back to the keeper. But it was obvious. You just played to Kieran Tierney or you played to Anthony Ralston, but it was really on the left side that they struggled because it kept going back to Sinisalo. All you need to do is play Kieran Tierney, and then St Mirren didn't start man-to-man. They started man-to-man in midfield. They didn't start the man-to-man with the wing-backs. And they tried to push Celtic off to a side and just swing. And as you say, it's a long distance for their wing-back, which was Mark O'Hara in the first half. A long distance. You need to recognise that in a game where I was watching Kieran Tierney coming inside the pitch and he was constantly having to run back to position rather than just staying low on the pitch and seeing Mark O'Hara coming. And then these players, Kieran Tierney can pick Mark O'Hara off, no problem. No problem.
And then it leaves Tenecti one-on-one.
So they didn't start man-to-man. They waited for Celtic, but actually Celtic never went into the trap, if you want to call it, of going to the fullback. They just kept going back to the keeper, which was even better for St Mirren.
Yeah.
I found it really frustrating watching them. I've invariably found that. And then you go back to the personnel. Man-to-man seems to be, thank God, it wasn't when I was playing.
What's the biggest Achilles heel?
It depends what way you want to do it. If you're going to play through it, you do need players like a Rio Hatate who can wriggle out and play 1v1.
What's going on with him?
Well, that's another story. That probably really is the underlying problem at Celtic, is why your best midfield player isn't on the pitch. And I can assure you it's not because the manager ain't picking him because he's flying in train and he just thinks there's a better player. There's a problem.
There's a problem. Probably.
There must be.
Contractors. Well, if you think about
still in contract, he obviously wants to leave, doesn't he?
No, I'm more meaning he mustn't be training right. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. We don't know.
Because he was playing well. Like people were saying, he's turned over a new leaf, and then
he's a top player,
and then he goes away with Japan and comes back, and he's not getting off the bench. He's getting minutes here and there. He went to come on yesterday, and then Arthur gets injured, and they put on
Dane Murray.
He must feel confident today. He's come on the pitch. They've scored 4 goals, clean sheet.
How can they go for having that 10-minute spell looking like a proper Celtic team to having like so many lacklustre performances this year?
It's mad.
It must be frustrating, even as ex-Celtic players. I know you're fans of the club, but like for the general fan, that must be the most frustrating thing.
Mental. And the last time I saw them play like they did in that 10 minutes was, I keep going on about it, Dundee United game when Martin O'Neill first come back. Since then, I've not seen it once. So it's like every game you go into, you're like limping through it, getting results. So you're thinking, it's good you're getting results, but eventually that's going to catch up with you. Yesterday, for that 10-minute spell, when I sit and go, what happened in that 10-minute spell? And I just think it genuinely was quality for James Forrest, who's still the best quality winger in the club, in my opinion, and any Acho, who's had a bit of game time now.
Finishes were brilliant, weren't they?
And goals change games. Jamesy goes down the side, crosses one in, any actual finishes. Jamesy plays a great ball through, or a zing through. Dave's scrambling to defend, McCowan puts it away, and then any actual has that finish. You're thinking just pure quality in that moment. When you look at Yang, right? You look at Maeda, and you look at who started up front. Tenecti in the first half. No enough. Like, nowhere near enough quality. Tenecti was nothing. Yang works so hard and offers a bit to the team, but quality-wise, no brilliant. Maeda's an amazing worker, lacks quality compared to any actual the way he holds the ball in. And I think it's just that quality's been missing. They two need to start for me in the running.
Just as simple as just a quality thing.
No,
there's obviously with the pressure, there's anxiety there, isn't it? You've been there, you've lived that day. It didn't look like a team that plays with swagger that normally when they put you at the sword, which is normally a good Celtic or Rangers team.
Yeah. Listen, there could be. I thought on the ball, like, the structure's not in place to play out for that man-for-man press. So, like, there wasn't enough solutions. Like Daz said, go to the full-back, have a clear thing and way in which we're getting out here when they do press man-for-man. But the personnel for me is big. It's another part. It's an easy way for Martin O'Neill to go, right, let's get these players in the park.
They didn't have a specific style, where you go, they're not doing this well enough or they're not doing that. It's like they've just got good players and they play.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think they're in between. I think Martin O'Neill's, like, he's obviously a master in terms of he's so much experience. I think when the dust settles, we'll find out what he really thinks.
Yeah.
But he is
just trying to get over the line.
Yeah, and he knows. And I was sitting yesterday and I had extra time, and a couple of guys I was sitting with were like, he must be raging, Martin O'Neill. He probably was. But I bet you he was absolutely been calm and collected, because you know what it's like. You've just lost kind of in the last minute to go to extra time. It's emotional. He's holding it together. So I don't think he likes the look of the team. I think he's borderline said it. But the reality is, this is not the time. This is not the time.
That's the thing. He
talks
about how good their attitude is and that's...
You could argue that he's the master at protecting what he's got, isn't he? Because maybe someone with less experience would maybe be a wee bit more emotional off the back of some of the setbacks or disappointments.
He doesn't need to prove anything. He doesn't need to prove anything to anyone. So he just kind of, he takes it for what it is, and he knows he needs to keep the energy high in the group.
Yeah. And I know there's a lot of football to be played, but it'll be a masterstroke if they go on and win the double.
It would be outrageous. Like, when going back to that point on Martin O'Neill, wee things like this, Tom, where Sinisalo was playing for, he would have been hating that. The Martin O'Neill that I know coming through, or any teams he's worked under, would be the simple things well. So defenders just get up and just play it long. So he's standing there, and it's hard for him, because if he has a go at Sinisalo, I don't know what he said at my half time, but Sinisalo goes, well, that's the way we're being asked to play, because there feels to me like a mixed message. I know Sean likes to play short football. I don't know much about Fozzie. And I know Sean takes the on the ball stuff. But Martin O'Neill's a basic manager that plays long. He's or plays simple football. If it's risky, don't take the risk.
It's a given though, isn't it? Like, all due respect, like, if you have to play good football if you're at Celtic. It's expected of you, isn't it?
Yeah, no, it's
that is a given, isn't it?
But then there's good football, and then there's six sharp
there's over football. Do you know what I mean? And obviously good football has to result in wins. Do you know what I mean? But it's like Celtic fans will no accept banging it long or goalies launching it all the time. It's like, it's just no the way, is it?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I think it was listening to the Celtic support now just in the stadium, whether it's yesterday or whenever it is, the thing that's driving them insane is when they get to the final third. Like Taneki, I'm going to call it, I think there's a player there. I honestly believe there's a player there, but he's petrified to lose the ball. He's petrified. Yeah. When I went on a pitch, my thing was, do not lose the game for my team. That was my mentality, is don't make mistakes, be a good teammate. You cannot play at the front end at any level, let alone Celtic, if you've got that mentality.
No.
He's so safe, but I'm telling you, he can travel with the ball. He's a nice way about him. I know he looks like he's about to deliver and it never comes. But that can just be a mentality thing. I've seen it with Nicholas Kuhn as well. Yeah. Very, very similar. Petrified to take someone on. Took Brendan Rodgers to basically say, I don't care what you do, you're going to take him on. And if you lose it, so be it. He needs that. But, I mean, you're getting to the final third and you land on him 1v1. And as a club like Celtic, 1v1s in the final third of the pitch should be goal dust.
Yeah.
It's like it's coming back. And I think that's what's really killing them. So we're talking about the lower end of the pitch. There is problems. Invariably, the most frustration is when they're getting to the final third. There's no spark. And you're talking about James Forrest, the first winger I saw, take someone on.
Yeah.
Old fashioned, took him on the outside. Brilliant cross, goal.
And that's what I mean. Taneki's sort of over. And we've seen the best in him when he first came in. He can do it. You can see he can do it.
He'll be a player next year.
I think
he's not disappeared, but then obviously there's a confidence issue, because even just take it down the left side and feed one in with your left, or cut back and go, right, you know what, I'm going to put this in with my right, or chop it back, do something. It's a bit like Olsen at Rangers. There's kind of like, they're not doing anything.
It's understanding. See, even if you lose it, the psychological kind of advantage you get on the fullback. So you know, it's like when a winger takes you on, if he's willing to run you, even if you feel like you've depaced them, you still then know, he'll run you. With Taneki, you know he won't run you.
Yeah.
So he's always going to come into his right. My actual pet hate is he won't actually shoot or cross. He'll always then, and it's like, keeping the ball is not good enough.
And it's not hard to put a decent ball in, right? You're not asked to whip it. Just feed it in there and make them defend it. They clear it, you're still up there, and that's you completed a cross.
It's that fear in it, in the front line that normally Celtic would have against any back line. Do you know what I mean? But listen, it sounds a bit stupid that they then go and hit them for 5 and 6. You know what I mean?
Because I think they lose themselves in the game. It's just like shackles off for like that period, and then when they go 1-0 up, they should have seen the game off. Should have been 2-3, and then all of a sudden it's not, and it's like an overthinking thing, and that can happen. Listen,
pressure on it.
It
wasn't enough for it either. Like going and scoring goals, but that imagination, like all the good Celtic teams that you play against, normally like it goes back to that Gordon Strachan, Tony Mowbray quote, like, your team's normally only as good as your front line. And if the front line's no firing, it's like, doesn't matter how well organised or how many good players you got in the middle of the pitch or how well you defend the game. It's like your front boys are the boys that normally win you the game.
Well, that makes complete sense for yesterday, because look at in the actual scores too, the game is done, so everybody all of a sudden looks like a player. They're playing for the back, everything looks fine. St Mirren's press is completely nullified, everything looks good, but it's crazy because a big part of it, I know we keep talking about it, but a huge part's got to be down to recruitment. Like, look at the boy Mvuka coming in. Adamu, Adamu's on the bench yesterday. Mvuka, where is he? You know, like, so you're relying on the same players like Yang and that who've been there for a while. Jamesy's still the best winger. What's your thoughts on like the recruitment side of it? Who, like Paul Tisdale must have was he that you worked obviously in Celtic? Mm-hmm. Was he a huge part of that? Your recruitment? I personally thought. I'd heard that Kendall was a huge part of that and he was brilliant for it, and him leaving's no help. How did you see it? You obviously know more than me.
No, I don't think it's, and it genuinely, it's not a kind of a get out of pinning it on someone. It's not one person. It's a collective. I think any club now, certainly the big clubs, you've so many different people involved. You didn't even mention a manager there. Like, the manager will be a huge part of the side. But what you're saying is true. There is so many different people involved these days, but it's because it's such a big scale thing where you're trying to recruit across the world. And how does something good from one country translate to your country? Invariably, Celtic aren't recruiting from Britain; they're recruiting from other countries, so that you've got so many different variables going on.
What is the system? What is
that? That's probably what they need to now. They definitely now need to get in line. It's just the order and who's doing what. There's been a lot of change. So from what it was when I was in the club has changed. I couldn't tell you what they do now.
What was your role in the club? Were you loans manager at the time? You beat him loans?
Yeah, my role kind of got built from being a coach, and kind of I nearly got really invested in the individual players, and probably just got sidetracked a little bit from my own career. I really enjoyed just trying to see players kind of move on, and I kind of got, I never got coached against Tomo loads of times, and like winning was great.
You
for
said it was 10 minutes. Coaching against him,
10 minutes. No, he was excellent. But you got a 10-minute buzz. It's different in first team. I never got carried away with the winning as such. Yeah. It's always with the players moving on. So I kind of got involved in that, and it kind of accumulated and going and building a role around it. And then not for me, but it ended up me going into it. But honestly, Charlie, if I was to tell you what I did day to day, every day was different.
Was it?
It was brilliant. It was brilliant. Kind of got a free run at between board level and first team academy, and I was just in between it all.
Is there somebody doing that role now?
Well, Sean will be. I'm sure Sean will need a rest at the end of the season. That's for sure.
Well, he'll
not be obviously doing the.
It's effectively vacant.
But he'll be taking a lot of calls still. He won't just switch off from it. But Sean obviously replaced.
Was that including the cooperation agreements?
Everything, yeah. It's obviously the loans, but then the stuff I was going to get involved was trying to build a partnership club out in Austria. So you'd be out in Austria for 4 days in 1 week, but then you'd be travelling over to something in there'd be some kind of conference with the ECA and the European Committee, which was brilliant because you're meeting all other like kind of individuals, whether it be sports directors, CEOs from all clubs around Europe. So you're meeting basically the people that make decisions at clubs. And I was given the task. I wasn't necessarily in that level at Celtic, and I was nowhere near the level of the people I was kind of in the circle with.
Because the title was loans manager.
Pathway manager, yeah.
Pathway manager.
So like you're coming in and you're pathway manager and you're sitting in a room with sports directors, CEOs or presidents, whatever it is. For me, it was amazing. Yeah. And obviously I'm doing what I'm needing to do for the club, and I'm always taking direction off what I'm been told to do. I'm kind of the middle guy in it, but it was brilliant because from a personal point of view, getting to meet brilliant people, see loads of different things. But ultimately for me, it was always about just creating an opportunity. And I tried to do that in loads of different ways, whether it was in Scotland or abroad. I'm big in trying to build stuff abroad.
So what made you go? You left, then went to Swansea, didn't you?
Yeah.
What made you make
It
that
was
move?
always that was always going to be. It was always. I was going to coach. As I said, I've been retired 8 years ago now.
Yeah.
So that was I was always going to coach, but I got sidetracked at Celtic just because I got engrossed in the actual individuals I was working with. Really.
So what's your next path? What's your next thing you want to do? Is it coaching?
Yeah.
Management or whatever?
I'm sure I'll manage one day. Whether that's in a month's time or 10 years' time, I don't know.
It's all good experiences though, innit? Having been in the meetings and spoke to.
Well, yeah, I spoke a bit about it. Like, I'm always quite open. I don't see why you wouldn't be. But like at Swansea, when I went in Swansea, there were brilliant people, absolutely fantastic people. But with due respect, I had more contacts than anyone in the club.
Yeah.
Just because you're carrying the badge of Celtic around for a year around Europe,
Yeah.
you're going to. So anytime there was a player came up, I might know the player, I'll know the agent, the sports director, and it makes things a lot easier. It's very hard to do deals. Yeah. I know Celtic have been criticised for it. Trust me, doing transfer deals is really, really difficult. Identifying players is easy. Doing deals is really difficult.
So that's because not a lot of coaches who've been in it for that 8 years will have that experience.
No, yeah, it's always great.
That's unbelievable meetings that you've been in.
And it wasn't meant.
So why do you think that Celtic no loads of players are coming through? Why like compared to when you look at Ajax and other clubs, what would you say? What would be the one thing you would change, or give us a wee insight into that? Because I feel that the quality could be there. I feel when I look at Colby Donovan, for example, right, he only got his chance through default. 2 players in his position were injured, Johnson and Ralston, and it feels to me that they went, who's next? Give me him. And he comes in and shows at spells he's better than Ralston. Now, I'm not saying Colby Donovan's Cafu or anything, but he's got his chance and he's... Do you know what I mean? He's all right.
He might be, mate. He might be.
It might be in the future, but he's certainly not the now, but he looks a good player and he's added to the squad. Why do you think I sometimes think maybe the opportunity doesn't get given? What's your...
Daz, give us a wee off the back of Charlie, give us a wee insight into see the cooperation agreements. How would you place these young Celtic players? Would it be off like profile manager, club, style they play, all that? To give us a wee bit on that.
So on that, I went around the mission the last maybe 6 months of the role I was in, watched League 2, League 1 and Championship. I'd watched a lot of Championship football in Scotland because obviously that's where I knew the main kind of cooperation country. I went through all of that and I kind of tried to gauge what was most important. Was it style? Was it the manager? Was it the facilities? Was it the location? I'll be honest with you, Tom, I got back to it, I was like, just playing football. And then...
Is that because like a lot of the teams are similar or because there's no ones that stand out?
No, a little bit, yeah. A little bit of that. But no, it's more just... I think when you... I don't want to go too deep with this, but when you start thinking about it, you can overthink it. If you just go off the statistics, if you want to play at a certain level, you have to be playing competitive football by a certain age. So if you just go off that 16 to 18 is the kind of, you need to be making your competitive debut somewhere in there. If you just lived off that rather than thinking of it, I obviously did live individually with all the players and that was what I loved. I loved the individual kind of side of it. But when you were trying to build for the club and the infrastructure of the club, it's just build a plan, a strategy, and just go with it. And it mightn't fit everyone. It mightn't be perfect. You need to divert some players at times. But the reality was, the punchline, you have to be playing competitive football. Don't stress too much about it. So I looked at a thing when Scotland played Croatia. It was just an interesting one because Croatia was a country I was really interested in because they're producing players and not a bigger country. And there's why you just want to know why. But Croatia played Scotland and every player on the pitch for Croatia had made their competitive debut between 16 and 18. But the biggest punchline was they hadn't done it. I think it was 50% hadn't done it in the top league. And then I started to look and I do a bit of research on it. But this is cross Champions League football. A lot of them, why? Because there's B teams in the leagues. So Zagreb have B teams they're playing. So they're getting their competitive minutes early. And then that's how they're doing it. It's England are brilliant.
So I always had a thought of, not to contradict that as such, like same, you know how much belief I've got the same as you, but like a Lowry, for instance, using him as an example, I thought Rangers putting Lowry to Hearts was like the wrong loan move for him. too high level, different style, which you could argue, well, then it then
Yeah.
complements what he has to do. He wasn't great without the ball, Lowry, but Falkirk were in League One at the time, full time, dominating the ball, scoring loads of goals, getting loads of opportunities.
Do you think Lowry, because I know him really well, and obviously
Well, I know
I'm
he's a
big fan.
player, that's why I mentioned him, because I'm thinking profile wise, and like I know the natural fan would go, oh, it's only at Falkirk, they're only in League One, but I'm like, well, what's better, going and scoring loads of goals for Falkirk and playing in a style that suits you as an individual, to then going and playing for Hearts when the stakes are higher, the level's higher, it's harder, maybe no dominate the ball as much, get less opportunities as an attacking type player.
So then going back to your point is, I wouldn't have needed to see Lowry at Falkirk to know he's technically good enough to play at Rangers. What I want to see is, I want to see him with a little bit more humility to his game, his work ethic. And by the way, I don't know the kid in and out. This is my perception of him, of why he hasn't, because his talent was
off the ball stuff, no pressing, no doing the hard stuff.
Either way, my point is, the longer I did it, there's no bad loans when they're developing loans. It's on Rangers to understand the talent they've got. So what I saw a lot of in England, and I've spoken about this before, that there was two lads, Andros Townsend and Jake Livermore, were at Tottenham, and they came to. I was on loan at Ipswich for a year, and then Leeds the year after. They came in and got flung out within weeks. They were, you could tell they were talented, but in, out, gone.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, I didn't think getting off them. Next minute they're playing for Tottenham and England. You know what I mean? Multi-million-pound footballers. Yet they came in and they got flung out.
Why did he get flung out?
Because exactly that.
They never had
Andros took too many touches. He talented boy, you could tell. He was a player, but I didn't think he was going back to Tottenham.
Yeah.
The point is, you need to, but they do it out there. They don't stress. Just get them out, play, let them feel it. Sometimes the humility of not playing, of realising, this is
the failures. They need to fail, don't they?
They need to. You sometimes. So it doesn't need to be perfect, is the thing. But don't. If you can get the perfect loan, great. And if you could get that like a Falkirk and you fit it, brilliant. My thing was, eventually I realised, don't stress about it too much. The biggest thing you can do is keep them in the building too long. That was my big thing.
So Josh went to Gallery, and I don't like.
You've mentioned it to us, like playing and obviously having to fight for a different style.
First 3 games, he headed the ball about 5 or 6 times. I've not seen him hood the ball 5 or 6 times in the last 6 years. and I was sitting there going, and brilliant. And some of it, a lot of ball in the air. And by the way, Jimmy Scott,
Gala play.
He's brilliant. They try and play. Goalkeeper's one of the best goalkeepers I've ever seen with his feet, by the way. Very good. Don't know his name, but anyway, they play a bit. But a lot of the ball was in there compared to Celtic youth team and that, and he was having to fight for things and that. But I'm sitting back going, loving it. And sometimes he'd be frustrated after games, but I'm like, this is the game. You need to get in amongst this. And hopefully, I know he's benefited for it 100%, but it's ideally, I would love to have watched him every game, and he's receiving the ball between the lines and he's turning and everything's nice, right? In an ideal world, you'd be like, brilliant every game. But really, when you actually think about it, no, you need to feel. I remember he was playing against Bodyrig. The centre half, the centre mid was like a 30-year-old guy, like built like a tank, and he was like stepping his toes, and he stood up to the challenge. And he had a couple of you wouldn't necessarily say Josh's attributes would have been off the ball, like you mentioned Lowry there, but he stood up to it, and that boy ended up. This captain get hooked 2.5. Josh played probably his best game, and the amount of satisfaction he took for that. Jimmy Scott said to him, like, brilliant, that boy never gets 2.5. He's like their best player. So again, I was desperate to get him out to have, see if he went to Gallery and just, it surprised me how many games he played. Because even if he'd went there and no played, I'd have went, well, now you can understand what you need to do or what to play in men's football.
Yeah.
And I don't think there is such thing as a wrong move. I think, well, you need to fail. When I look at my career, and you're probably the same, you can go through it. The amount of failures, I retired at 37 and went, hold on a minute, I was still failing at 37. I was still getting on the bench, having disappointments, having bad training sessions, picking up niggles. Like, my whole career was just full of failures. Obviously a lot of success, but it's never plain sailing the way people say it. Would you agree with that? Like, there's loads of setbacks.
See, when you're saying that, I think that reminisces was because I think you're then giving Josh the right feedback. So the support network around that, like when a Lowry comes back for Hearts, or I'll use a Josh McPake when he gets sent back for Dundee, it's like it's deemed more of a failure, rather than actually like a learning.
Yeah,
like,
so and that's a big issue for Celtic Rangers, is if you go and you don't do well in the championship club or League One club, you're going to be written off.
The natural narrative says, how can you play for Celtic?
One of the biggest things I was trying to do, and by the way, I was educating myself, but trying to, not educate is maybe a patronising word, but there's no bad loan moves here. They're development loan moves. Yeah. They're not loan moves to build their value, and it's just literally just to give them a feeling of it could be brilliant. It would have been great. Some of the loans I went to watch, players were flying. Some of them were really struggling.
It's almost like putting an amateur boxer into fights.
It's like doing shadow boxing all the time, punching a bag, and then you go into an actual scrap and someone punches you between the eyes.
Yeah, so an amateur, it's like getting into an amateur fight, but it doesn't count for your record, but you're almost getting flung in there to have as many amateur fights you can, know you're ready, know you can come, and you've had
I think there's an arrogance on like how the loan, what you're saying there, Daz, is like any loan's a good loan. I think there's an arrogance like it has to be a sexy loan. It has to look like a...
Yeah.
Like kids will want to have, like we got Conor Barron when we were at Kelty, and it was like you were
loves drafting up Kelty against me. That's a stab at me.
You were like, you literally were selling your heart and your soul to someone like Conor, who'd already been at Brecon, who had aspirations of going a wee bit higher. And I'm like, listen, we'll play, we'll pass, we'll be brilliant for you. I feel as though I'm the best person to try and educate you and help you, and we've got good players, good changing, and blah blah blah. So you're obviously trying to sell yourself to these new players. I'm actually thinking, at that time, I think Conor had aspirations of maybe going to championship level. And I was a wee bit like, you'll play at us and we'll value you, and you know what I mean? And like, things could change. You might have been really disappointed, you might have been poor or whatever, but like, I think, and I know it's just flying a kite, I think if Conor had maybe at that time, leaving Brecon as a young player at Aberdeen, had went to championship level, I didn't think he would have had as good a loan as coming to League Two.
No,
if that makes sense. Not just because he has, I just mean like just League Two, and I think a lot of players using the Lowry and a Josh McPake sometimes aim to the stars. This loan deal, I'm a Rangers player, I want to go to Dundee in the Premier League, I want to go to Hearts in the Premier League, and in theory, League One and League Two, like what you've just mentioned, Josh in the loan league, is actually a better loan for them.
Well, I look at a couple of Hearts players that Josh then came back to Celtic and played, and a lot of them were on loan at League One. I think the boy you in Glasgow's at Montrose or something. They don't play. They're on the bench, and I'm not saying that's a disaster, but would they maybe not be better going to league and playing and feeling it? But then again, that doesn't mean it's a bad loan move from again. Go back to my point. It's like, right, now he understands. If I go to Montrose, this is what I need to do.
As long as you use that as the mindset, as if like, right, well, it's maybe no been for me, and it's no, I go back to my club, or I'm a bit big time, or I'm better than this.
I see a massive difference in players going out first time loans, coming back into the building. They appreciate the facilities more. There's just a maturity, but it's like, is that not the most blatantly obvious thing? They're 16, 17, 18-year-old guys, of course. Of course.
So they know, because Josh is like to me now. He travels an hour, 45 minutes to Edinburgh on a Tuesday, an hour and 35 minutes on a Thursday to Gala, which I didn't even take into consideration when I was putting him there, like how good that is for him. I was like, and then he travels on a game day. See, now he's like, my God, I appreciate it driving 20 minutes to Barrowfield now, and I appreciate the actual structure that is in place here. Like you said, the facilities, the actual fact that we have sustained possession of the ball and I can receive it between the lines. And I'm like, yes, it's worked. Because he now feels what it is to be there. Now let's see you back here and give it everything you've got. And I see the developed leadership skill. I shouldn't be talking about him too much here. He'll hate this. But he's developed a bit of leadership.
No, but it's brilliant for young players, mate. I've got a young lad that's obviously, hopefully one day going to come in. And I do think, especially at the big clubs, with it being patronising to other people, it's like, a young Celtic player going to Gala in the loan league and being at the wrong end of the table, I think is like, should deserve a lot of credit. Like, fair play to the kid. Do you know what I mean? Like, having the personality to be able to go, not knowing if it's going to work out, good or bad. Do you know what I mean? But like embracing it rather than going, Gala in the loan league. No, I want to play in League Two, or I want to play in League One. Do you know what I mean? Like, find your level, find your path, and use it like what you've basically said there. Any loan's a good loan. I was more intrigued to if you've got like a number 10 type player or a specific player, if that makes sense.
Don't get me wrong, I absolutely scoured, and I'm talking about abroad as well, for all that, went through all the styles, but everything to find the perfect loan. That was always the goal. The point being, you don't stress if you don't find the perfect one. The worst thing you can do is not actually progress and not take a chance, if that makes sense. And then going back, long way back to the question you asked of players, what I really changed my mind was, we're speaking about the young players and how do they get a chance. I started to see it from the manager's point of view. It doesn't matter who the man. I'm not talking about. It was obviously Brendan at the time, but I'm not talking about any manager. You're going to get sacked. You've got a lot of pressure. So the last thing you're going to do is come into a job and go, right, where's the academy? I'm going to look, where's the next guy coming through? How much money can I get? How big a player can I bring in? Do you know what I mean? How can I bulk the squad with this? And you know what the funny thing is, when I went to Swansea, that's the exact mentality I had.
Yeah.
Now, I was very conscious of the academy because of my background. 5 months gone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you have to see it from their perspective. And how is a manager going to pick a player that has never played competitive football? Unless they're like
special,
someone just
100%.
crazy.
So that's why
They need
you don't
to
think
see
the onus is then on the club to put a structure in place, and Celtic could do it this year by saying, right, so in the future we don't have two right backs clogging up. What we've got is we've got our main right back who's going to play in the big games and going to play whenever he's fit, and then we've got a B team player who plays B team, but he's a backup right back, and we have a system in place where these boys are the next one in the build, and there's a way of getting these boys through the building, because I think there's talent that can be sold. I understand the manager's point of view. Obviously, being there myself, the last thing I thought about Kelly was bringing young boys through. I was trying to win games, turn a move somewhere else. Did he do very well?
No, but you talk about planning, eh? Like being a manager is short term, but like above that should have that. Like 100%.
Have structure in place. So a manager comes in and he knows exactly what his duty is.
There's a gold mine in that type of strategy, but it's unfortunately the nature of the beast being involved at the cutthroat end of football is you get sacked. And then you end up like, some guys can afford to get sacked and it's not the end of the world, so then their perception might be a wee bit different. It might take a wee bit more time. I'm quite happy to play young players because a background that you've had, knowing that you might be quite comfortable in life, so it gives you a different option, do you know what I mean? Or somebody that's like, their job is their life and they need the money.
Aye.
They're paying their mortgage, paying their bills, you know what I mean? So like, I just want the best player available to me at that time, and it's no the 17-year-old that's sitting in the academy. There's so many variables that add in it, but I think a big club like a Celtic and Rangers, when I worked in the academy, you think of Nathan Patterson like playing a small number of games when he got in for Tav. You spoke about default Donovan. Tav never injured, hurts his knee in Europe, Patterson gets in, next in line, they sell him for like 12, 13, 14 million pound. It's like, I know that's easier said than done, but if you have the strategy in place at the big clubs, bear in mind, we both know Dad's working in academies. If Rangers really want to go and sign the kid from Motherwell, or Celtic really want the kid from Falkirk or whatever, they've got the firepower and the money to go and get them. So they are getting the creme de la cremes. Doesn't mean they've got the best youth team.
Yeah.
So I mean, doesn't mean that other teams can't compete, but they've got the firepower a wee bit, do you know what I mean? So to have that strategy in place where you've got 4 attacking minded players in your squad, you're playing with a front 3 and you've got one on the bench, but your next 2 behind that is the number 9 and the number 10 for the B team.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Bringing them on when you're 3-0 up.
Yeah.
At Celtic Park, they're coming on and nicking a goal, full enthusiasm, desperate to. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And then all of a sudden their profiles 16, 18, that age, it's huge, eh?
That's it.
Every team, all these big teams are driven by day. I just think as a country, as big clubs, we fall short in giving the young players opportunities, which in the long run would benefit the clubs because of the monetary value in them.
Oh, absolutely.
It's unreal, man. That's gold dust. That's such good chat.
We should be CEOs, mate.
That was so good. Experienced dads, guys. Right, on to...
Dunfermline, you need to mention your old manager.
Aye, by the way, he's a big game manager, isn't he?
And he was in a bad
I wouldn't
mood,
want to manage against or play against a Neil Lennon team.
Was he in a bad mood with you?
When yesterday? He's always a bad mood with me. He just
what was he not happy about?
He just likes to keep me in my place. He likes to keep me in my place
because
he was my gaffer.
Do you still call him gaffer?
No.
Do you call him Lenny?
I call him Lenny.
Do you?
I've got utmost respect for him.
Do you not call him gaffer, no? Would you call him...
Lenny's a strange one for me because I played with him, and then he was a coach, and then he was a manager. But I only played under him for 8 games. He was very good.
A wee bit of that.
I
find it hard to.
Some of the Celtic boys still call me gaffer when I go and see them or whatever. It's great and it's really respectful, but I know
I would hate it.
But then if I've seen Walter, I would call him gaffer.
There's certain. I think it's certain managers.
But Lenny, because he's called Lenny, it's like a wee bit. But then the players at Dunfermline wouldn't call him Lenny, obviously. Do you know what I mean? They call him Gaffer.
And by the way, it's no, I've no thought about it in texts and that, and deleted texts where I wrote Gaffer and then no knowing what to write. And it'd be one of them news, I'd Bill go, Lenny, yeah. I wouldn't know what to say.
Mate. I just said mate, alright, mate.
I know. Anyway,
some result for them.
Oh, what a result. I wouldn't like to manage against him or play against him as an underdog because he has his teams believing, does well.
He's as good as I've seen in a dressing room before a game. I'm not a mad...
Motivator.
Yeah, and I'm not a mad believer in
He's
that.
not a tactical man as such as he is.
I think that's probably...
Is that harsh?
Yeah,
I don't mean harsh.
not
I mean
harsh.
that,
No, I know you don't. I know the way you mean it. I think that's fair what you're saying. No, I think it's his biggest strength is just how he makes you feel.
There's an edge.
He makes you feel, and there's not a coincidence that every team he goes at, they land in big moments all the time. Like, I even think back to when he was at Hibs, obviously at Celtic, but when he was at Hibs, he was a problem for Celtic when he played, and Rangers, and
they got over the line. They first
won,
won. Big budget, do you know what I mean? And obviously you think of the squad that had John McGinn's, etc., but still, it's easier said than done just because.
And
then he's there at Dunfermline. He's I think they must be on over 10 games now. Is it 10, 11, 12 games unbeaten?
They're on some run.
Now into playoffs, they're into cup final. It's not coincidence.
You wouldn't back against them, would you? That's for sure.
In the cup final. Oh my God! Don't start that. We've got the league to deal with first, but no,
you wouldn't. Yeah, it'll be a tough
if it was
game when it comes to win for
with due
Celtic.
respect, if it was Dunfermline against Celtic, I'd be like, "There's no chance." But because he's on the sideline, I don't know. I just never ever quite. He makes it easy. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Oh no, more than that. Yeah.
He's they had the better chances in the game as well. I fancied them. I think they'll win. Falkirk
They're
obviously
youthful.
did well, but
They're a handful. They've got the data behind them as well. Dunfermline, which I wonder if it would be good to get Lenny on to ask. Like, he's probably one of the few jobs that he's maybe never had full reign on. When you talk about manager, it's the Cockney guy that's behind the scenes, isn't he? They've got the data driven stuff. So I know when Tids and Geordie when Tids was the manager, they kind of bring the players in as such. So I would imagine for how much experience Lenny's got, but then you could argue that's the same for Martin O'Neill. It's like that's the way clubs are run nowadays, isn't it?
Yeah, you'll not get a manager that goes and watches a play. I remember, am I right in saying Alex Ferguson missed a game for Man United? I'm sure. I'll get
watching something.
Aye, to go and watch a player. Sure, that'll be caned if that's wrong, isn't it?
No, but
he's made that up.
He would be.
I'm sure he missed a game, first team game, to go and watch a player. Now this is decades ago. It's
you can imagine apart from the top boys, like your Peps and that, even though they'll have recruitment, but these superstars are known by everybody. Anyway.
Lenny went to see Van Dijk, didn't he?
Did he?
Lenny went to see Van Dijk.
Your mate John Park takes all the credit for big.
I've seen him.
Parky takes a lot.
Super scout, mate.
He gets a lot of credit, didn't he, for a lot of these signings back then? I don't know.
He's at St Mirren now, isn't he?
Paul the cameraman walked to him. He'd be able to tell us the part he played.
He's went quiet.
Paul's
went quiet.
Disappeared.
Was it?
I got it right.
Yes, Daz.
De Gea.
Love that.
Went to watch De Gea.
Missed the first team game for it.
Amazing,
You think of that?
It just doesn't happen now, though. But like, I would imagine, apart from like the superstar managers, your Peps and that, the Klopp obviously probably had the same pool at Liverpool. Like Arteta might have that pool now. Do you know what I mean? But like, probably below that, a lot of the current day, even the guys right at the top, will. Like
I'd be amazed if managers go and watch the player live.
I'm
not saying it doesn't. It'll happen at odd time, but I'd be amazed. Vast majority they won't have seen the player live. They'll have people just delivering essentially a presentation.
Yeah,
and then it's the club that's bringing the player in.
Yeah,
Edinburgh Derby Sunday. You got that game? Is that Premier Sports or it'll be Sky Sports?
No, I don't think I think that was maybe Sky.
Gambles drop points.
It's a big one for them. I've heard a couple of their fans say, a couple of them come on the radio and were saying if they win that and then if they get a result against Rangers, the league's done. They've won it.
To be fair, this is the. I know we're at the crunch time now, like, but this
has been the hardest game for them, innit?
This is either you going to Gorgie or you're going to lap it up on here, aren't you?
Oh, no, man. Getting closer to that, isn't it?
I've never seen somebody disliked as much by the Jambo fans as you.
I don't even go next.
I could be fair. I had to go like me. I don't know. I think I tweeted back in.
Did you have a wee nibble back? Did you?
Oh yeah, but like a good decade ago now. I think when they got relegated, I wrote like if Carlsberg did leagues or something.
I think they just loved
stupid, like, but realising now.
You have to own it.
Yeah, they didn't. Yeah,
he's not. He's
definitely.
What's wrong with people in Edinburgh? They only go to Twitter. It seems to be Twitter. They want to hammer. They've not got Instagram yet.
But behind times.
Aye. They still call it Twitter.
I fancy the high bees. No as a habit. I think Dave will produce big moment.
It's their chance to spoil it for Hearts, isn't it?
I think there'll be another twist down. And you both know better than anyone that draws now are like defeats, aren't they, when it's so close to the nitty gritty. I wouldn't be back against them, obviously. I certainly wouldn't be putting my house on it, but I think Hibs will take something off Hearts on Sunday.
What do you think?
I know the feeling of not having Hibs don't really have anything to play for as such, so that will be like a feeling of a cup final for Hibs. I think it'll be Hibs'
perfect game for Hibs.
Yeah. It's hard because like I've been in it with Dundee. You kind of get into that point of you're not getting relegated. You're not obviously competing for anything. The derby is huge, so I can picture the build up to it and everything. I can picture Hibs doing.
Should they pick one team to win the league? Obviously you go Celtic, but who do you think will win the league if you had to pick one? I know it's hard to say, but if you had to pick,
it's hard because you've obviously got your heart and your head. If hand and heart, if I had to you put a gun to my head, I would say Rangers.
Would you?
Yeah, I really hope I'm wrong.
It's only been on the podcast once, mate, and you say that I've asked you that question 21 times now and you've never said Rangers once.
I just think Celtic don't keep defying odds. I think it's because I watch Celtic all the time. I'm like, you just see all the cracks.
There's a doubt in there.
Yeah.
But then if you bubble that 10 minutes or that Dundee United game, I've always said I'd never write them off.
Yeah.
But it's the inconsistency of the performance, the lacklustre performance, the huffing and puffing and just getting over the line, which is a great thing to have.
I
think Rangers, I'm like you, Dad. I know because I'm an ex-Rangers player or whatever, but I think the momentum that Rangers have got now, the goals they're scoring,
it's the goals.
It's the goals. I know Celtic in good steady. I know they obviously had a fruitful day at the weekend, but they've struggled to score goals. And then you could argue even Hearts have in recent weeks I know they ended up getting 3 against Motherwell, but previous to that, I think they had won at Tynecastle 4 or 5 times, only 1-0. And now they're obviously playing everybody around them. I just think there will be twists and turns, but
the Falkirk game with Rangers been struggling in the first half. I think they just
found a way.
Yeah, found a way, but they landed on what way they're going to go is
they'll play 2 up front now.
Yeah, play 2 up front and play direct, and I don't think teams will deal with that. I think it's effective.
It surprised me Rangers coming back for that 2-0.
I thought that was the biggest change, mate. I said it on commentary when I was doing it, that Cole Donaldson and Liam Henderson ate up Shermitt in the first half. Traditional one got really tight, really aggressive, read the forward pass into his feet, nicking it, giving Falkirk a momentum to go the other way. And then as soon as the 2 boys at half time, Miofsky come on, it was like, oh no, we're now 1v1 duels. We're getting less tight, less space. So instead of jumping on their backs, knowing that there was cover behind them, they stopped jumping on their backs. And actually when they were really aggressive, they were brilliant, but they had that safety net of the spare centre half.
Yeah.
I think a lot of teams now, predominantly, I know Hibs like a 3-5-2, obviously, do you know what I mean? But Celtic will potentially not play that way. Motherwell will not play that way. It'll be interesting to see.
Motherwell's going to be a big game.
That's what I'm saying. But
Is it Ibrox?
Motherwell will play with a back 4, won't they?
Aye.
So will they change to potentially qualify? Not probably no.
I think they will.
I didn't think they will.
Motherwell.
So
Motherwell, they won't change, will
they'll play with a back 4, won't they? So
is it First Park? Aye. Isn't it Sunday? Is it Ibrox?
Ibrox is Motherwell, aye.
That's a big one for Rangers because I think that Motherwell can dominate possession there.
Motherwell's games, I've thought they've been absolutely sensational this year, but they've fallen off a cliff.
They haven't they?
It's normal because, again, I'm going back to that point, they don't have anything to really play for. I know they'll say all the right things, but they don't.
Yeah.
They don't have the same edge.
You definitely think you lose that edge?
Oh, 100%. 100%. At Dundee, the one I remember, we were in the top. No, we couldn't have been in the top 6. And we played Dundee United with 3 games going. Dundee United went down. And it was like a cup final field. Yeah. But after that, you have 2 games to go, and it's like
summer mode.
It's impossible to keep. It's impossible. You don't do anything differently.
Yeah, you still. We were the same. So the season before that, we were top 6.
That's right. Yeah.
And we drew against Aberdeen at home. I remember the pitch being really poor. I think it was 0-0. But apart from that, we never got a point. We got scudded in another 4 games. And you end up just. Usually the team that finishes 7th, albeit I know it's stupid because they're playing different games, but they end up getting more points than what you get in 6th.
Who would you give manager of the year to?
Oof.
Think who's in. Think who's in for it.
Well,
mad, innit?
Aye, but obviously.
Do you think it's as simple as whoever wins the league gets it?
Yeah, I think if Derek McInnes won the league, he has to win it.
I agree with that.
I think Danny Roll, because of when he came in and the kind of the rise, if you want to call it that, he'd have to win it.
And would you give Martin Neal if Martin Neal won it?
Yeah.
Aye.
But
Because he could affect.
But I have to say, John McGlynn, I think could be up there now. He's taking a hammer blow at the weekend, probably.
Seen Tam Cowan.
But I think what he's getting out of that is, if you look for pound, what he's getting is incredible. Yeah, likewise, Motherwell as well.
Ask who at the picture now, would you say?
Nah, I think that's harsh, but if they do filter out a wee bit.
Yeah, no, those two I would put in the running. But ultimately, it's...
Because if St Mirren pressed like yesterday, like they did against Celtic down to Motherwell, I would fancy Motherwell to play through that.
Yeah. I think they've got...
they would use their keeper as a spare man. So he puts his studs on the ball, he's comfortable, and they look for the bounce pass appeals for the midfielder to bounce out. So that's a regular thing they do.
That you think that Motherwell will play through that yet Celtic couldn't they?
That is what I think.
Incredible, really, isn't
it? When would you ever have said that? A team outside Celtic and Rangers would be able to produce performances like they've produced. So what he's done with that budget's ridiculous as well.
No, he's sensational, yeah. Them and Falkirk have been the two.
So who's your manager? The season finishes the day. Who are you giving it to?
Who's Hearts win the league?
Who's top?
It's done. They just cancel the season.
Nobody wins it.
COVID's back.
Keezy, start again. It's my ball. Nobody's getting it this year. I was only kidding. Start again.
If it were right now, I'd have to say Derek McInnes. I'd have to. You can't have a Hearts team above and not.
What they'll have, if they do go over the line, it'll be Leicester City, esque.
I would. It would be a big achievement. I have to agree with you. What do you think of team of the year? I've got one change I'd make in it.
You still putting Liam Scales in it?
No.
You got a bit of flack for that, didn't you?
No, I like Liam Scales, and I think if you look back at the start of the season, Liam Scales done some unbelievable defending to keep Celtic in games, to win narrowly, to keep clean sheets. Deserves a lot of credit, but he's not the one I would put in.
I've only seen the lower league team of the years, that the actual players of the PFA one. I've not actually seen the Premier League one.
I'm taking a chance here for the Premier League one. Motherwell goalie, what is it?
You'd have Motherwell goalie.
No, I'm saying, do you know the team of the year? No,
I didn't know.
Well, I'm going to attempt to name it here.
He's going
on. But there's the am I right?
Right off the cuff, we need a bit of paper.
But I'm right in saying, the PFA
one. Got the right back straight away.
But I'm right in saying the PFA ones for the lower leagues have jumped up. But I've seen Robbie Fraser, I'm sure. So I've seen the Championship one. I don't know if it's been picked by the players.
They've all been picked by the players?
Aye, they've all been picked by the players, but I mean, like, has the Premier League one actually been out?
It's out.
Oh, right, I've not seen it.
It's out, innit?
I've not seen it.
Right, so I'm going to have a go to it. Don't tell me, right?
Tell us read it out for us.
I'm going to have a go to
Dave.
It. Watt, Fernandes, Paul McGinn.
And you've seen this? Or this is yours?
I've seen it, but...
You're trying to remember it. Paul McGinn's in it.
Paul McGinn's in it. I'm stumbling. Give me a second here. Right back is... It's not really right backs, it's just defenders. 5 Motherwell players are in it.
Oh, I did see that.
Keelan Adams?
Maswanisi's in it. No. Maswanisi's a striker.
Watt's in it.
Who?
Watt's obviously in it.
Watt's in
Just's in it.
Just's in it. Nygren's in it. That's the 3 midfielders. Watt, Just, Nygren's the 3 midfielders. You've got Maswanisi. You've got...
Braga,
of course, and Shankland. There's your 3 forwards.
I've not even seen it. My memory's better
than
yours.
I've not seen it. Halkett. You've got Halkett. I've not seen it. I'm just making it up. Halkett, Paul McGinn. 2 fullbacks have escaped me. That's a disgrace. Who are they, Paul? Millen. And... No, I've missed them. Something.
Say it big Fernandes.
Fernandes, McGinn, Millen, and who else?
Halkett.
And who would you change? Or who would you have in that's no?
He doesn't even know the team. He said, I'll change it.
I thought you were just going to read it out.
I thought it was a no bad attempt.
I just only seen I seen Championship and League 2 and League 1.
Who are you bringing in?
I'm taking Fernandes out.
You take Fernandes out?
For who?
Fernandes is a right good player, right? Dave's fuming about that, right? Fernandes, let me get this straight, right? I think Fernandes out of the whole team has got the best chance of moving for millions, and he's the best defender, right? So let's clear that up straight away, right?
Pretty sure that's the reason.
It's based on the season and how he's done. He had a nightmare at the start of the season.
Right,
he wasn't even in the team.
Who are you bringing in?
Stuart Finlay.
Okay.
Better season. We're judging it on the season.
He's missed a bit of Stuart Finlay, though, hasn't he?
Recently.
Don't know how many games he specifically missed, but
Or you could argue Stephen Welsh.
he's had a good season, Stephen Welsh.
Yeah,
I'm saying for the full season. You know what I mean? What's your thoughts?
I think you were trying to soften Hearts up, just in case. Derek McGuinness for manager of the year, Stuart Finley in you.
I'm just being serious. I'm just
No,
being
he's had a good year.
I mean, you look back at Fernandes has been unreal in the past 3 or 4 months, but think about before that. Would you not agree with that? He had a poor first half of the season.
Well, I wouldn't go as far as saying first half, but I think he's been absolutely outstanding since Danny Rowe came in, which was only after 13 games, was it? 13.
No, do you remember the game at Tannadice where he was?
Aye, we've obviously analysed some of the bits where he should have get over, and
And
obviously
we were talking about him switching off, and there was a wee
but
bit.
I think that's his. And listen, you both know better than I do playing that position. I know you were profile wise, you were different for Fernandes, but he plays with that lackluster swagger.
Profile wise, I was.
Well, I
was fast.
No, but I think you were both really aggressive defenders. Whereas, by the way, he is aggressive in both boxes. But I think he on the ball, I would say, you were more straight batters. You would like. Whereas I think I couldn't see Daz doing a Cruyffie in the 6-yard box. Whereas
Absolutely
I think Fernandes would.
Aye.
You know what I mean? So, I think it's just his personality, how he plays. I think Daz, when he receives it, he would like. Whereas I think Fernandes has got the capability of.
He'd take 2 touches, mate. I was 1 touch. Bosh.
Doing a couple. He's got a couple step overs.
No, you're right. He's got composure.
I think he would go down the channel, and I think you would both get there early, and you would pop it straight back to the goalie. You would know where your back line was. I think he's got the capabilities of like making you hide behind your sofa a wee bit and like doing a Cruyff on the touchline. Whereas I didn't think that's the type of thing that you would do. Not in a bad way. I just think that. So I think when he maybe then makes that mistake, it gets highlighted, and I just think it's the way he plays. Mm-hmm. But I think as a profile, mate, he's 6'5", 6'6". He's aggressive from both boxes. He's chipped in with a few goals. By the way, he's got a brilliant variety passing. And
we're going to need to be careful with this rule because it's going to make it.
I think he's
Fernandes is a good player.
I think he's the best centre back in the league by a country mile. There you go.
I agree with you. I think more consistently and more clean sheets have came from Stuart Finley.
I think the boys have had a brilliant season, but he's also been in the national squad. Do you know what I mean? So I just think he's for what he's produced in the last 4 or 5 months, is performance wise has outweighed everybody else at centre half. Like I think you could pick a partner to go with him, and then you could have the debate how can that. But for me, Fernandes has been out.
I wouldn't argue. I wouldn't argue against anyone. If Finley had been in it, I wouldn't be saying Finley shouldn't have been in it. It's mad to think Rangers could win the league. Likewise, Celtic have only got 1 player. And you're arguing you could potentially bring that player.
Nigan's been a mad player.
But then it's voted off the players, isn't it? So
he's scoring goals, which is amazing. But is he offering loads in his positional play in the midfield? Is he? I'd love to know what his assists is.
I've got a question for you both. I want to know when you get the PFA thing that comes through and you need to write a player's name on it. Oh. I want to know if he's ever voted for any Rangers players. When you were both at Celtic.
Not one Rangers player. Not one Rangers player in my
That's a shambles, man.
I would now.
You would now.
Yeah.
So when that PFA piece of paper comes through in a wee packet.
By the way, I'll go on it. I never did it when I was at Dundee either.
I wouldn't even have wrote it in a blue pen.
So if Fergie was playing at Rangers at the time and he was an outstanding player and he was going to win Player of the Year
but in fairness, right, my thinking round that wouldn't have been not to give it to him. It would have been likely it'd have been Scott Brown or something. Do you know what I mean? You'd have been knowing he was the rival, so you wouldn't vote for the guy.
So I would if Scotty had been the best player, I would vote for Scotty if I was a Rangers player.
You've got a sensible head on you.
See, I have grew up a wee bit since then.
Oh no, now I'd never
have wrote it.
No.
Would you have?
No, I
wouldn't have considered it.
I have to admit, I probably didn't take it seriously enough.
Dave, you see how better these pair are? It's what I'm dealing with.
It's true.
But I suppose I'm by the way, I'm no for 1 second saying that that's what the current lads have done, but I would hazard a guess that there's a big reason why there's no so many Celtic and Rangers. And by the way, neither of the two of them up until...
It's a great question, by the way, because I'd love to know what that would look like now with this current bunch of players, because Hatate wouldn't be thinking, you can imagine Hatate going, I'm leaving out the Rangers players, he would just be right away.
I think I voted like...
Somebody would be helping him with that, wouldn't they?
A couple of times I had a vote for friends.
For your mates?
Yeah.
Aye,
if they were in the running, I would give my vote to a friend, which is wrong. But I would have.
Yeah, it's natural, isn't it? And also, Motherwell, a lot of people complain about Motherwell being 4th and having 5 players in it. 5 they've got in it, goalkeeper, centre-back.
But that's the narrative is Motherwell have had a brilliant season, which they have. And even though Rangers or Celtic, for that matter, could win the league, the narrative is they've not had a brilliant season. So it's nearly the narrative.
It's a narrative, but also imagine playing against Motherwell as a player. You'd be like, they're brilliant, and he's brilliant. You would be saying the players are
individually. The players have been brilliant, haven't they? So.
Midfield, I think
all of them deserve it. Yeah, all of them deserve it.
So we'll start with Celtic. What's your predictions against Falkirk at home on the Saturday to put the pressure on Hearts and Rangers?
I think they'll win, mate.
Comfortable.
I think Falkirk might have one of the what we've just mentioned. Now they're obviously the cup, big disappointment for them. I'm not saying for them. We're both reiterating that. I'm not saying the players will down tools or John McGlynn will take his eye off the ball. Definitely no, but I think Celtic might hit them for a few, to be honest. And then for a Celtic perspective, at home playing first, goal difference is going to be critical. I think it's your chance to go and try and build as well, carry on the momentum that they got for the game at the weekend. So I think Celtic will win. If I was a betting man, I would say that their performances wouldn't suggest that they would go and score loads of goals, but it wouldn't surprise me if they do hit the heights and they go and hit Falkirk for a few.
Think any actual start?
He'll play an hour, I think.
Yeah, to be clear in any actual, there's no way he's not playing because Martin O'Neill doesn't think he's the best centre forward.
He's had his injury problems, hasn't he?
Yeah, I look at him and he looks like a really good personality and he's clearly a really good player. But I question anyone at the end of a season that's not fit enough to start games. You know what these days, the way players are looked after, he should be fit enough.
Yeah.
And you can tell he's a good guy. He's clearly a talented footballer. Celtic need him. But the fact that he can't start games, I don't care how long you've been injured for, you can start games.
Yeah.
So that's a reflection on him. But absolutely, answer your question 100%. He has to.
You think he starts?
He has to.
Do you think Forrest starts?
I personally, yeah. I think you need players that can create moments, and James can create moments.
Yeah.
And you touched on it. Pressure does a lot. It doesn't do a lot to James because he's just lived in it. It's part of him. So I would go with James in that.
Gauge your predictions for everybody watching to use TalkSport Bet and get a wee bet on it, a wee scorecast.
A wee bet builder.
Wee scorecast. Like baby, you bet 10 quid, you get 40 quid in free bets.
Nice.
TalkSport Bet. Many people don't know it's a betting company. Also, they know the podcast and they know the radio station, but don't know that. What would you go for?
In terms of the score,
the Darren O'Dea bet builder.
I'm involved in football. Do you not like betting football? Just to be clear, I'm not betting on the game. Was a good offer.
You're allowed.
I'm allowed because
you're allowed to bet because you're out. Aye. As soon as you're involved,
it's a grey area. I won't do it.
No, as soon as you're serious,
you're out. You're all right now. Unless you're still contracted somewhere.
I'll tell you a wee story. I got pulled up. I got an unofficial suspension. I'm happy to put it out. I got an unofficial suspension. I'd went all the way to Aberdeen with the youth team under 13s or 14s at the time when you get the wee parks at Hamilton bus. There wasn't a lot of parents take the kids. Went all the way up to Aberdeen. Rangers trackie, obviously. We played the games. Obviously, it's a wee bit hostile when you play Aberdeen as a Rangers, whether it's in the academy or no, with the rivalry, it's obviously up there. And we stopped, and a lot of the kids didn't like the sandwiches that get put in the buses nowadays. You know what kids are like, so they ended up, a few of the coaches had took them to, I think there was a Morrison's or whatever, and there's obviously the hot aisle or that, so a few of the kids had jumped off the bus. And it just so happened that we caused havoc, that the bus driver had double parked in Aberdeen High Street.
Right.
No doubt you'll have been there before. I didn't know
Union
Aberdeen
Street, right in the middle.
Right in the middle. And William Hall's right next to us.
I had to run into the town. I could park where I'm out.
I should have asked for Charlie. Anyway, the wee parks at Hamilton buses didn't have toilets on them.
Right.
So I'm like, the boys are talking about coupons and that. I wasn't a coupon man. I liked the horses. I was never really a football man as such. And I was, because the boys were talking, do you fancy this team? Do you fancy that team? It had like planted the wee seed. So anyway, jump into the bookies, have a wee look. I was only going in for the toilet. I was that miserable. I didn't want to put a bet on. I just wanted the toilet.
Trapped through and all wee fiver.
So I go to pull the door in the bookies and it's locked. I don't know if you've been into the bookies and the doors get locked. So probably because wrongins like you are up in Aberdeen kicking about, they keep you. Anyway, I go to ring the door. I'm like, so the woman was like, are you a customer, son? And I was like, yeah, I'm going to have a bet. Handing me the big key. The key was about this size. Put the key in, open the door.
What was going on in there?
Come back out, lock the door up, hand the lovely woman behind the counter. So I then go and pick a coupon out and I'm like, I don't really want to pick a coupon on. So anyway, it cost me 20 quid. So I'm like, jump back in the bus. I was like, couldn't get in the toilet. To the boys are laughing like, what? Do we need like Kevin Thompson in for a toilet? I was in an ass. He's obviously didn't like us up here. And put my coupon on. My coupon wins. 4 teams. Didn't quote me on how much it was, but it was a 20 quid coupon. So I'm bantering the boys saying it's cost me 20 quid for a pee in Aberdeen. But instead, I ended up winning. I then asked Geordie, because I didn't go to a William Hull bookies, to pick up my bet because he stays in Bonnyrigg and then there's a William Hull's there. So he goes in and picks up my bet on behalf of me, which now looks suspicious.
Right.
There was no suspicion in it. And then I get pulled off Craig Mulholland. CCTV cameras, got a Rangers coach in William Hull, and somebody else picked up your bet for you that won. So I got like a two match suspended sentence.
No way.
Serious. I'm serious. 2 match suspended sentence for betting. So when you're involved in football, you cannot bet.
Mate, I was on loan at Celtic. I was on loan to Dundee United for Celtic. I'm not joking you, right? One of my second games in professional football, and I says to my now wife, stop at this bookies. Jumped into the bookies, put 20 quid for me and 20 quid for her and me to score first goal that day at 33-1. Free kick, I should have crossed in the box at Tannadice. I went, I'm shooting. Shot, Mark Brown's surprised that I've hit the shot, and he's went near post, dived in, palmed it in the side net. I was like, oh yes, I won. Man, away like that. I'm pointing back to the box to Alana. Me and her have just won 660 quid each. Go back, I've got my Dundee United tie on. Drive back down the road, go into the bookies. Never forget the boy Eugene who knew me. I lived around the corner. Right, Eugene, he's like, oh, well done. Gave him the sips, gave me all the dough, back into the motor, won the money.
Would that have been before the proper...
That was before the proper thing.
I remember Craig pulling me in. He's like, oh, we've got a problem. I was like, get a wee bit panicky, get a bit sweaty under the thing. When I told him the story that I've just told you, which was innocent.
Yeah, it makes you feel...
I felt guilty obviously, that I was I'd done something really bad. Obviously, I'd put a 20... And I was willing to pay 20 quid for a piss. I'm saying to Craig, you should have toilets on the bus.
That's a long lad. Surely you've got a pound kicking about, you just put it on trap too.
I assure you, if that doesn't come in as a winner, you hear nothing.
I want a true story, mate. This isn't the courtroom. What did you do? You went in and put 20 quid on, didn't you? You didn't even need that piss.
Honestly, I couldn't believe it. But TalkSport bet's the best.
TalkSport bet. So what would your bet be? Give us your score for Celtic. Home to Falkirk.
I think they'll win. I think it'd still be tight. It'd be 2-1 Celtic. Celtic have not kept clean sheets recently, which they did early on in Martin O'Neill's kind of stint. Not kept clean sheets. I just think Falkirk, it's going to be hard for them. It's going to be hard for Falkirk to really, really go and win the game, but they still have enough to cause Celtic problems.
I'm going to go off the 10 minutes I've saw there at Hampden and go 3-0 Celtic. Comfortable. 2 goals early, a goal in the second half. Done.
Their tail should be up, shouldn't they?
Yeah. What about Rangers?
I think Rangers will win. I think that, and I predict they'll score a few goals.
You think so?
Aye, I
think Motherwell have completely gone then?
No, I still think they'll go and pass it, but I think Rangers will do what they've done to Falkirk, and Danny Rowell will analyse what they've done, and obviously the 2 strikers, I think will cause Motherwell problems. I think he'll start with Miovski and Shermiti. If Raskin can play, we were obviously really complimentary Raskin against Falkirk. If he can play the way he played against Falkirk with that energy and that enthusiasm and the drive, then I think Rangers could. I just think Rangers have got that magic ingredient where they look really dangerous and they can score lots of goals. I think their Achilles heel, a bit similar to what Daz has just said about Falkirk, like or even Celtic. Like I do think there's still a animosity if they do concede a goal and then how they react to it. But I think they're a wee bit in the mode of we'll score more than you today.
Yeah, I'm going 2 each for Rangers.
Are you?
I'm going to go 2 each. I think they'll concede.
Well, the people that are going to put TalkSport bet on didn't follow Charlie.
We'll go back on next week and see if I'm right.
Or your money's down the drain.
Then the Edinburgh Derby, what's your thoughts? First of all, what's your thoughts, Rangers?
I think Rangers will win.
Edinburgh Derby?
We talked about, I think Hibs could cause real problems. I think this will be Hibs' like, in their mind, this is the one. This is the one. Because I know they're big games afterwards, but as I said, I think you peter out when you don't have something to play for. You cannot go into a derby at that level. You've obviously played it.
Yeah.
They'll have the bite to that and there'll be a build up to it. I could picture Hibs doing something. Score-wise, I could put both teams to score. It'll be close, 2-1. There won't be more than a goal in it, I wouldn't have thought.
I think the same 2-1. 2-1 Hibs. I think there'll be goals because both have got good front lines. Hibs are youthful, obviously. Boyley's talisman. everybody knows how good Hearts are in the front area. Shankland back fit. I think there will be goals, but no bundles of them. But I'll go 2-1 home win for the High Bees.
You singing Sunshine on Leaf?
By the way,
if I was there, I would be. My boys will be there. It's iconic, isn't it?
It's brilliant.
I think it is the best.
It's the best.
Yeah. It's good, isn't it? It's so
best,
good. Come on, the High.
I never used to do that when I was there either, as much. I got it when we beat Hearts.
I feel I've only heard it like.
I never used to do it when I was there first time, especially like Mowbray era, and then Pat Fenlon when I come back up the road. Never done it, but I sampled it the night that we beat Hearts when Hibs went on and won the Scottish Cup that year, 2016. Jason Cummins has scored at Easter Road in the replay, and they done it, and we got to walk round. And obviously, as a boyhood fanny, you get to walk round with your kids in the stand. It's special.
Best. That's us then. Well done, lads. Cheers, Dad.
That's great.
Unbelievable insight there, mate. I appreciate it. Thanks for joining us in the breakdown. Join us again next week.